Yeah, so education is very much a global and international phenomena. A lot of countries, they base their economic productivity on the education systems that are in those countries. It's really the thing that allows them to have access to the world market. And so in these days, it's very competitive. Countries use their education systems to compare against each other. And so a company like NUITEQ that is working in the field of education really needs to be focused on the educational systems that exist around the world. And this is really key. I mean, the curriculum, like for example, mathematics, is very similar in different countries. However, that context, the context of where people are teaching, the socioeconomic status of those students is all very, very different. The culture, the religion, everything is quite different depending on the places that you go to. And so as a result, we really need to focus on understanding those non-school factors in order to provide software that really meets those needs. And so it isn't the case that you can create one software and one piece of content that works for the entire world. You actually really need to tailor it. And how would you know how you're supposed to tailor it without having some context of those particular regions? In our YouTube channel, the first-hand view of what education is like around the world being really important for understanding those non-school factors of why education is different in this region versus this region. Simple things like, what is the infrastructure like? What is the parent support? Those are all factors that can have a big impact on the educational system and what kind of technologies would actually be useful for students. But we also need to look at global trends, right? So we see some trends in one region, maybe those are things that are going to happen in other regions as well. We would adjust our software to meet the needs of where teachers are teaching right now and potentially where they would go in the future. And we get a lot of that by traveling and seeing those different experiences firsthand. And as much as possible, we often try to share those perspectives with you, the audience. One of the things that we noticed in Malaysia was really internet speeds was a big factor, right? So many of the people in local Malaysia don't have fast enough internet to stream videos. And so as a result, we actually had to change our software quite a bit to support offline modes. And so this feature of being able to work offline with videos, it was really key to enabling a lot of markets where the internet isn't fast enough. And so these are kind of things that I think that you wouldn't really see until you went down there. Another factor that I heard was sometimes they have rolling blackouts. Like at any point in time, you could lose all the electronics. They often go back to the mobile devices. This is the thing that kind of surprised me is, I talked to some teachers, I'm like, well, your school, it doesn't even have internet in the school. Maybe you've got like a display. Do you guys show any like YouTube videos? And she's like, oh yeah, no problem. I pull up my phone, I use my phone as a hotspot. And I was just blown away. It's like, well, like, why are you using all these videos? It's like, well, it saves me time, And so learning from teachers from Dominican Republic and Mexico, from teachers in Malaysia and Uganda, we kind of see that teachers are some of the most resourceful people on the planet, right? They figure out how to work with the stuff that is around them. And really seeing their practices firsthand really gives you a sense of what is the technology to them. There are certain things that really do save them time. This is one of the reasons why we focus so much on content in their native language, because it's all about saving teachers time. What I would add is that I really do feel that NUITEQ software has a big role to play on the global stage. I feel that because we are so focused on software and content, we have the lowest amount of effort per standards aligned lesson for different regions in the world. This is a super key advantage because there is this growing amount of very local, very good content. Instead of just watching the video and then not remembering anything, now you're going to be able to, you have to test your knowledge. That testing aspect is really key for retention of the learned materials. And we see this trend absolutely across the world. A lot of people are moving from using video as an engagement tool to using video as like a flipped classroom, so the students are going home and they're watching these videos. But really, when it comes to that activity, the retention, how do I know that they watched the whole video? How do I know that they actually remember anything that they watched? You need a lot more, simply because we remember when we do, when we create, when we act, a lot better than when we listen and we watch.